Alright, so time to give the little car a little more love. Back to wiring this. I actually found an Optima I had forever. That's so you see how dirty it is. But I bought more snap-on shit, so now I had to charge it. So I was able to bring this one back to life. It's good now, so now I can actually get to wiring it. I have to wire the factory coils to the new distributor because this car used to be points and now it's not. So I already see, I already got the original harness and took the little insulators off of it, the actual pins, and I have new, I took the connectors and I have new pins for it, and I actually stranded the wire so it's ready to go. So all I have to do now is just basically make this happen. It should be running hopefully by Friday, and today is Wednesday, so I have a couple days to do it. Just want to get it running already, but I'm also trying to make it look nice. I'm not trying to just run some wires across this shit just to look like shit. That's why I'm trying to do it like really nicely. Yeah, I love seeing this car outside on the floor. It was way cooler than it did on the lift the whole time. So last night when I went home, I actually took some stuff with me so I can make the coil harness, which is this right here. So I ended up just reusing the factory connector and boots for it and label it so I know which one's which. So now I need to run it, I install it, and then finish wiring over here. I just didn't know how long it needed to be, so I just left it like that. And also in the mail we got in the throttle bracket. Super nice. So this one's made by Atlanta's Motor Garage out here in Cali. So it basically just bolts on right there and it puts the cable right there. So it's like pretty sick, like low key as hell. Really nice quality actually too. And it's aluminum, so it doesn't weigh shit. Just gotta take that bolt off, tie this down, put the throttle cable on. One less thing I have to do to the car. I didn't want to go through making a bracket if they already have one out there, so might as well buy and support the friends too. But yeah, pretty cool piece. I think they're 50 bucks. They're not even really that expensive for how because I make parts, and to make this part is not cheap. You have to get the aluminum, get it cut, bent, coated. So for the price of it, it's really nice, and the fact that it fits like right there is pretty sick. If I were to do it, it would take me so long to figure out how to even mount it and all those angles. So it's cool that people still are out here making new parts for these cars. Went ahead and installed the wiring, so you can see it's like really nice. It's marking straight up on both sides, so you know what's what. And then it goes down this way, around, and it comes right here. So it's a little long, but it's perfect. I can just like cut it shorter. It's better to have more in it than less anyways. I had to change this pin to the pin that come on the MSDs, which is this one. So I can have two prongs on it, because this prong right here is the tack, but then if I put it on, I can't connect the actual coil because this wasn't set up for that distributor, set up for points. So I have to change that to this, that way I can connect the coil and the tack still on it, have a separate wire not connected together, just in case in the future you go to change it out, you have to cut what you already made. I'm putting the intake back on, but I forgot to take off two things out of the engine. This engine was out of my Black FC, so it's a 6-port engine, and one of them being the actual actuators. So see, it's a little stuck, so you just grab some pliers, get that out of there because we don't need it. And then the other thing is the oil metering jets. These are really hard to get to. You can see they're like, it's a really thin 14. This is where having shitty tools comes in handy. So I always have a pair of shitty wrenches. So what I did is like I just sanded them down really thin so it fits in there. So this should, yep, fits in there. You can get them out easy without busting your knuckles with a plier or something. So I gotta take those out. We don't need to put those anymore. Just gonna put some bolts just to block it. And I also tap the rear line so you can put a cap on the rear coolant line. For the front, someone already did that to it. It has like a bolt threaded into it, so I'm not gonna touch it. But the other side, you can see like someone was standing there trying to make it look cooler, and it went right through it, so I had to weld that and then smoothing it out. That way the water pump actually works. But right now I'm just gonna put the gasket on, which is like factory. It still has a multi-layer gasket, which is pretty cool. So put that gasket on and then slap on the throttle bodies again, so you have one less thing to do. Yep. So put the hardware on, tighten it, everything should be good on this side, and after that I don't have to worry about taking this off again. I just gotta run the line and heater to here to the regulator and keep going. I might figure out put a spacer on this, because you see how they wobble. This one's not that bad, but I have to figure out something to do to tighten this more so they don't wobble. That's annoying. Back to working on my dad's first gen. Got a lot done yesterday. Found out a bunch of issues that the car still has, which are related to the car being old. So I had to run a fuel line from the fuel pump to the front, just turn it on, because the factory line is corroded and it doesn't get any gas to the front of the car. I'm just gonna use the same hose under the car to route it to the front. I ran out of fittings, so I have to wait till basically till tomorrow, till Monday, to get the right fitting for here and the one for the bottom, so I can just make a bracket to mount this here. Still have to get the belts and the rear heater line from the block to the heater core, and just tie up a bunch of little things after that. But the car runs, which is the cool part. So now I just have to finish the little stuff so I can actually drive it. But it sounds pretty cool. Like, it sounds pretty nice. So let me see. And the starter doesn't work inside the car, so turn the key and come over here and so today's goal is to actually do a burnout in the car. So I went and bought the parts I'm missing, which are the heater core line to the back of the engine, the proper brake fitting lines for the, basically to adapt the new lines to the old hard lines, and then some fuel lines so you can finish that little stuff right there, and the belts. So he's gotta bleed the brakes and do a little burnout before Royce has to go to work. So I couldn't really find caps, so I ended up doing is I made my own little brake line. So just to basically just loop the fitting for the rear, since we don't have calipers yet, but for now that will work. That way I can actually bleed the front brakes and drive the car. So everything was almost ready to go on this car, so I can start driving it, until we ran into this issue, which is pretty bad. So if you look here, keep an eye on there, watch. Not good. It was a used regulator that I got from my friend Royce. So I mean, it was a hopefully a work thing. But today I went out and I bought a brand new one. So now just swap it, because for this one, I already made a bracket. You can see that one's already, I had a bracket made, I had the lines already made. So for me to change to a different style now, it actually hurt it more. And since they didn't have the Revo kit, I just bought a brand new one to install instead. Just install this and I can turn the car on. And I also put the rear heater core line already in the car. You can see it's already there, goes all the way to the front of the car. And the belts, the new one, if you look down here, it's not threaded, and that one it is for the bracket. So I have to thread these holes to M6x1, and I can actually bolt this on and change the fittings out. So I'm gonna go thread this thing first. Alright, so to thread this, I'm actually gonna use my little vise. Put that in there, make sure it's centered, and tighten it down. I guess I move. And I'm using my pretty sick tap holders, so you can use a ratchet instead of that weird shit. And my tap set. So I'm pretty sure it's this one, which is M6x1. So that one literally just goes in there. I think it uses this one gotta literally just press it in there. It's done. And I put the ratchet on it, and I just tap. Done. So I'll do the same to the other side, and then blow the little pieces of metal out, and basically bolt this onto the car. You can see, super easy to tap it. So change the fittings to the new one. So now I'm about to bolt it up, and hopefully no more fuel leaks. Oh. Yeah, no more leaks.
Alright. Are you holding down pedal?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, my knee is ashy.
Let's do it again.
Alright, holding.
One more time.
Alright, so now we're one step closer to the burnout. Right now we just have to fill the transmission and the diff with fluid, and that's pretty much it, because we have the cooling system sort of connected, good enough for a burnout. So water goes in. Sick. Fuel system plumbed. I mean, everything's really done, so you just gotta put the wheels back on. Hey, what torque spec is that? How many Ugas?
5,000 Ugas.
Ugas. I gotta put the ramps on it again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally gonna be the lowest car my dad's ever had.
Yeah.
He's gonna love it.
On the front lip, it'll be fine.
So I should be right now just welding the water pump housing, but instead we're gonna get it ready to do a burnout. Push to start. Ha, just kidding. I'm not gonna do a burnout in this car. I'm gonna let my dad do the first burnout. But literally done. Now all I have to do is get shipped to Virginia, and I can drive it when it's over there.